time now on WSON for Speak Up. Speak Up is WSON's award-winning public affairs program. We invite your calls this morning with questions or comments at 826-3923. Now let's find out what everyone's talking about.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us as we are on a journey this morning. That's a little loud. Don't ask me where, because this may end up anywhere. I'm just telling you, I'm in one of those kind of moods, I think. And if you have a question or comment, feel free to join us. I thought I'd play some woodwinds. That would seem kind of appropriate, right?
Very fitting.
Although I'm not sure they had bassoons back in Shakespearean
I
time.
don't think they did.
That jaunty, just, nice.
It sounds very woodsy. Fits very well with Horace Garden.
And I was trying to evoke that feel of being out in nature and in the open, because that's what we're going to be doing this.
That's right.
And that's what you are doing now.
Yep.
You are sweltering through this hot.
Oh my goodness.
And the great news I have, though, is that it looks like it's going to be a little bit cooler.
Yes.
And it will be dry.
Yes.
Because that would be your biggest nemesis, I would think, right now.
Rain, definitely.
It would be rain for what we're about to put on. We are here with a good friend of ours, Megan Nance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to see you as always.
And Megan and I now, along with her husband Alex, have been involved in several productions.
Yes, we have. Here in Henderson.
And I don't even remember how I got suckered into the first one. But once you do, I mean, it's like
you
this
can't stop. It's
black
addicting.
hole that keeps dragging you back in.
It's very addicting.
It is. And we're going to talk a little bit about the whole pull of theater and what it is that kind of gets you going. Yep. But we're here to talk about the latest production, which I'm not a part of, but Megan and her husband both are.
Yes.
And how many of these shows have you done now?
This is my... This is my fourth show with Evansville Shakespeare Players, and then this is Alex's fifth show. He has been with them from the beginning, except for with the fact they used to be with Civic Theater. That's where it originally started, but then they didn't really want to do them anymore, so our director, Tony Chaperjon and Gretchen Ross, founded the Evansville Shakespeare Players, and the first show they did was The Tempest, which Clay Prindle actually directed, and then after that, Tony took over from there, so she's been directing ever since.
She's fantastic.
Yes, she is. I love her to death. She's one of my best friends.
Kind of an exacting taskmaster, too, though, right?
Yes. We usually start out blocking the show in her backyard. So it's really nice because her backyard is very shaded. So when we come in about 6:30 to practice, it's very comfortable. It's not too bad. So.
And how long have you been in rehearsals for this now? It's been.
We started at the end of May.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. So,
mid-May. So I was. We had just finished up. I had just finished doing along with Jason here. Jekyll and Hyde.
That's right. Exactly. And we do want to say good morning to our other guests this morning. I want to leave you in the cold by any means. This is Jason Vincent. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you are from Evansville.
For about a year now, relatively new to the area.
Super. Where are you from originally?
Wisconsin.
Excellent. Okay. Well, you've worked your way into the tropical rainforest of the U.S. I didn't know that, but how do you like it so far?
Oh, love it. Love the area. Absolutely.
Was it job-wise that brought you here? Or
my wife's job, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Super. Well, it's great to have you, and you've been, is this your first or second show?
This is my first Shakespeare show. I got to know Tony a little ways back doing Christmas Carol, and so when this opportunity came around, it was a great chance to do something else with Tony. It's been very exciting. Theater's always a family affair for me, so my whole family's in this production. My wife and 2 kids.
Super. Yeah. Oh, wow. That has to be neat.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you can go home and practice lines around the kitchen table, right?
Or we can just go home and pass out together.
Probably that's exhausting.
Yes.
And you believe, how many lines, golly. But at least you commiserate. You kind of know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that, I've done a few things with the kids myself when they were younger, and actually directed a play that they were in.
Oh, great.
And that can be very stressful. It was cool. 826-3923. So it's Theater Day today on Speak Up, and it is As You Like It, and it is the Evansville Shakespeare Players. And again, the fantastic thing about this, it is free.
Absolutely
free.
100%.
And these folks are doing it because of the love of theater.
Yes.
Are you big Shakespearean people, would you say, or?
Well, I was an English major many, many moons ago in college, so I had to do my fair amount of Shakespeare to...
You've got to get through that
to
material,
get that
right?
piece of paper, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this is the first Shakespearean play I've been in 20 years, so...
Wow,
yeah.
so...
Kind of love Shakespeare, but have not...
Welcome back, Connor.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Megan?
I actually was never a big fan of Shakespeare. I hated reading it in high school because I never understood it, but I will say it is so much more fun acting Shakespeare because, especially with a lot of the comedies, there's a lot of physicality that you can bring to it. We've really brought that out in the show because there's just so many great moments that people do with scenes that you don't really think is funny when you're reading it, but then when you're acting it out and you put a little movement into it, it actually gets pretty funny. So it's been quite enjoyable to act it out.
Once you get past some of the language that was the norm back then and has been amended so much since,
Right.
You get to find out that really and what was great about Shakespeare was he had to bury the humor in a way that so you didn't end up losing your head at the same time, right?
Exactly.
So, and of course, there's this whole debate: did he really write it, or was there somebody else
Yes.
writing it?
We've heard that.
What matters is there's a body of work now,
That's right.
and it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to ever disprove the rumor because the physical record's just not there.
Right.
And so we can skip all that. Fast forward to today. We're putting this on, and I think we already have a call.
Oh, all right.
So the one thing that Shakespeare didn't have the benefit of is
Taking phone calls.
his producer, hey, William, what are you doing out there?
It was just somebody yelling from the gallows.
Shakespeare. Maybe it is. It could be the bard himself right here on line one. Let's see. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I was wanting to know if that Jason guy was ready for the pain, and I wanted to know if that cute little female you got in there is single and is looking for somebody. That's right, I've thrown all of you off. It's Alex. Of course, I've thrown all of you off. It's Alex.
It is Alex. Good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, I knew right as soon as you said the first word. Did you, Megan?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I knew exactly how I looked over at Jason said, it's
Of
my
course you
husband.
did.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
And I bet you're having to work today, aren't you?
Yes, I am at work now, but Jason and I already had a little bout earlier this morning on television, so we had some fun.
Yes.
And I take it there's some physicality between your characters in this production.
Very much so. Yes, very much so. Alex needs to be taught a lesson, and that it is. Yes.
He's just the guy to do it.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you guys are really having a lot of fun then, as a cast.
Having a blast.
Oh, yes.
Absolute blast, yeah.
I've not had any fun at all.
Don't listen to him. He lies. He lies.
I couldn't make it in person, so I didn't want to call and say hi, tell everybody who's listening, come see the show. It's a great show. Captain's worked hard, and it's fantastic.
And it's 3 nights.
That's right.
3 nights and an afternoon.
There's an afternoon, right?
Yeah.
And it's, again, right on the riverfront of Evansville.
The pagoda?
And
Yes.
right next to the museum. And it's right in the middle of Traffic Central.
Yes, we do have that issue sometimes. So we are going to have something, I think, to help out with some of the sound, but we are going to strictly do this. No mics and everything.
I know. And ambient light, I mean, you don't put up any kind of specialized lighting for this. You just use what is nature provides for the most part? Or
We put up a bit.
Yeah.
do you?
We obviously are going for the feel of an outdoor production, so there's not going to be big fancy theater lighting and things like that. But there's going to be enough that the audience can see us even when it gets dark.
But there's no curtains. No. So there's no curtain. And Alex, thanks for calling. There's no really backdrops besides the pagoda itself and the riverfront, the beautiful riverfront here in Evansville.
Right.
There are props and there is some scenery setting.
Yes.
Is there very much in this one as far as tables?
We have like a few benches we use. We have some homemade trees that our Taylor, our assistant stage manager director, he kind of helped put some trees together, and they look really fancy looking. I thought they did a really good job making homemade looking trees. We also have a couple things we use for set, like props and things. But other than that, we just usually utilize the pagoda itself. We just use all the steps and the circle that we use for like a house section. So.
And if you're the audience, know that it's okay to sit amongst the landscape.
Yes.
And that's really, I thought, was kind of unique. There's some stone that you can sit on, but I would encourage, if you do have like a
chair,
chair or something like that, maybe a lawn chair, bring those out, and you just kind of sit up. It's really kind of theater in the round as well, and it's a very intimate. And like you said, without any amplification as far as the actors and actresses, then it's important to have that, because sometimes the line might get lost or something like that if you're too far away.
It's as close to the globe as you're going to get in Evansville.
That's right.
Absolutely. It is BARD approved, because he is very familiar with this kind of a setting. The only thing I said to Steve Tao earlier was he would not approve that the fact it's free. He would probably take issue with that. But,
if anybody wants to give us a pence, that's fine.
And you do take a little pledge.
You take donations.
It helps fund our shows for the next year. So.
And I know, listening to you folks, somewhere, you and Alex particularly were on with AJ and Megan.
Yes.
AJ and actually it was.
It wasn't Megan.
It wasn't Megan.
No. I didn't actually get to talk to her. It was mostly AJ.
Miss Ridley.
Yes.
From
sorry. Yes.
But in any case, I know we were talking then, the fact that since it is right there in the open, and it's on Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Of course, you've got people coming up and down the Riverwalk there.
Constantly. Even during rehearsal.
Yeah, exactly. And they just kind of stumble upon this.
Yes.
And a lot of times, so that's how you draw in the audience there.
Yes. And that's one of the main reasons I think we do it free, because, you're going to have people just walk up that's on that Riverwalk, which is beautiful. They're just going to stop because they're going to see what's going on. So they want to sit here for like 5 or 10 minutes and watch the show. And I mean, once we hit the pagoda, because like I said, we always start out rehearsing in Tony's backyard so that we can get our blocking down, then we can mainly get our lines down, because once we start the pagoda, we instantly have an audience. So we don't really want to have the books out or, have to be like calling a lot of lines, but that's one of the reasons she usually wants to do that there, so that we can get all that taken care of instead of having to worry about it there.
It's a live advertisement every night.
Absolutely.
And in a sense, it's like guerrilla Shakespeare. You're out there, you don't know they're hidden, and there it is. It comes out of nowhere. This is As You Like It, which is a really interesting show because of all the mistaken identities, right? Yes. And for some reason, Shakespeare was kind of hung up on this whole idea, or maybe that was just the thing in that day and age, of people kind of impersonating other people.
Yes. It's one of our, it's not as well known, I think, as some of the other shows. Right. It does have one of the biggest female leading roles. We have our lead role is Rosalind, the character of Rosalind, which a lot of people are familiar with, the Rosalind Orlando love story, which Alex plays Orlando, and then Emily Dertolds plays Rosalind, and she does have over 700 lines that she had to memorize, and she has done a fantastic job. I have to comment on how wonderful she's done, because she's really taken a huge...
It sounds like she's never off.
No.
She must be in every scene.
I mean, she was learning
the lines, the physicality that she brings to the character. It's just, it's been wonderful watching her develop into Rosalind.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know what it's about, so the character of Rosalind, her cousin Celia, who is played by Kylie Eberhardt, who was here with us Saturday, they live in this kingdom with their uncles. Well, one of the uncles gets banished by his brother. Well, then he ends up wanting to banish Rosalind as well, and Celia don't want her to go, so they decide, let's go together to the Forest of Arden. But, well, you know what? 2 women going into a forest alone, probably not going to be the best idea, so that's when Rosalind decides to dress up as a boy and disguise herself, and then she ends up meeting Orlando in the forest as well, which she had previously met him before due to other reasons, and she decides to not tell him that she's this, really Rosalind, so their love triangle plays out throughout this, and it's very interesting to watch them play these roles together. So it's been very rewarding watching everybody. There's lots of different characters, different. Otherwise, I'd be here 2 hours explaining every character to you. But it's
actually that's my life story too. I mean, that's we were banished as children and grew up in the forest. And, one day came out and oh wow, there's a radio station. Tell us, Jason, about your character.
Sure. Well, my character has a bit of an evolution through the production, through the play. So I am Charles the wrestler, the court wrestler in the first act. And through events that you'll just have to come and see for yourself, I basically become the hapless musician of the forest in the second act. So,
wow.
So I've had the great.
I was hoping it was a progression, not a regression. It sounds like he has some issues there.
I guess it depends on your point of view. I kind of enjoy the music, but it's been an honor to actually work with the music because Shakespeare usually does put some really nice stanzas into his writing, and often in productions it'll just be spoken in song or spoken in rhythm. We've actually put some music behind it for this production.
That's great because I was just thinking before you folks came on, I said, what kind of Shakespeare music can I play for this? And there's really not, when you think about it, a lot of music. And so to have, I think, the notation along with the words, I was just saying, I guess I could have played the love theme from Romeo and Juliet. I probably should have done.
Almost fitting.
Yes. 826-3923 is our phone number, and it's 8:30 already. Where does the time go on it?
I know.
Tuesday edition of Speak Up, and again, very appreciative of Megan being here. We've had the pleasure to work on several community theater. I think the first one was...
was the first one you were in Shakespeare
in Hollywood, right?
Which I was stage managing that show. That was a great show. That was just a lot of fun. A lot of
you're talking about some
hilarity.
Yeah, exactly. Shakespeare on a movie set with the Warner Brothers.
Yes, pretty much.
The only thing that was missing was Bugs Bunny.
Yes, I was hoping we would get somebody to dress up as Bugs Bunny and run on stage.
But anyway, since then we've had. In fact, the last thing I think we did was our radio show.
Yes, the radio Frankenstein
which
radio
really
play.
And that really was unique.
And very different and challenging because, you can't rely on your body. You're relying strictly on your voice. But that was very different and interesting, and we actually had a lot of fun doing it. And the sound effects that everybody did was fun.
I think one thing that was really throwing some of us off, that we actually had the lines in front of us.
Yes.
So the pressure was really...
Didn't have to memorize.
But... if you flubbed a line, it's all on you, right?
You had to speak clearly because you're on the radio, so.
Yes. But that was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll do another one, maybe for a Christmas show or something like that.
I hope so.
I hear rumblings that we'll do another Ken Ludwig show for the fall.
That would be fantastic. I've actually had some of our Evansville friends who are very interested in coming over to Henderson to audition, so I'm very excited about that. We're branching out some of our communities together, so.
Do you think ever we might have a Shakespeare performance here in Henderson?
It's been a while.
I think we did have once.
We did. Alex and I were in Much Ado About Nothing here.
Was that at the State Park?
No, we did it at the Fine Arts Center. She directed it, and that was the first Shakespeare show I had ever done, so I thought, I've done one, and then Gretchen talked me into coming over and doing Comedy Bears a couple of years ago, and ever since then I've been hooked. So
and you did 12th Night.
Did 12th Night
was
here.
That 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago, and then we actually did Much Ado last year as well. So,
okay.
So I've been in 2 productions of Much Ado, different characters, so it's been fun.
Excellent. Now, what was it that got you involved in theater to begin with?
For me, at least in recent history, I mean, way back when in high school, I certainly loved doing it, but I took a 20-year hiatus. It was really my daughter who, a few years back, wanted to try out for Annie, but was too nervous to do it by herself. She said, I'll try out if you do something, Dad. And so I tried out as well, and we both got parts. I was Rooster. Of course, Tim Curry is one of my favorite actors of all time, so to play any part that he played, so widely, it was a lot of fun. And really, after that, it was just a snowball effect. The whole family got involved with productions up in Wisconsin, and then, of course, as soon as we moved here, we got involved with the Alto and some other groups, and doing productions, pretty much ever since together.
Yes.
But I mean, this
No.
You have an altered life.
I have an altered life.
Yeah. And then, Megan, how did you get started? Was it also in high school, or?
No, you know what? I never did theater. I did not take one theater class in high school. I have to give credit to my husband Alex because he was in his first production at the Fine Arts Center in Bus Stop in 2005. I was a senior. Yes, so he's been in at least over 15 productions with Henderson Community Theater. So he got involved with it and did a couple of productions. And I came to see the shows, and I kind of thought, I started making my way in backstage, so I'd help with makeup and hair a little bit. Then I got to doing props, and then they kind of just thought, I wouldn't mind trying to get on the stage. So the first production I did was On the Timing, which was back in 2008, but that was a great
show. Those were like little vignettes, weren't they?
Yeah, like 6 different acts in one play. So we had 6 different storylines going on.
But again, it was about the timing. It was very fast-paced.
Yes, one of the ones I did was it was a very timing. So everything had I would say a line, then the next person, then the next, and you had to flow. It had to flow, and it was very timing wise. So it was scary at first taking it on, but then we ended up having a lot of fun. Although it was really hard to keep a straight face because when you're working with Paul Metzger and Stacey Howell, who are just phenomenal to work with, it's just you have a hard time keeping a straight face.
Alex is somewhat humorous, I'd say.
Yeah,
it's always coming up with antics or something.
It's always an adventure.
It is.
I have to give him credit, though. I never thought in a million years I would ever get on stage. I've always been a very shy person, and I did kids' plays at church. Alex and I both did. We grew up in the same church, and we still do.
It's a big deal. You guys had superhero Sundays.
That's right. We have. Alex is he's our children's pastor at Abundant Life Assembly of God, and we've been there for 3 years now. And we come up with this idea of doing Superhero Sunday to kind of get kids more to know Bible characters, but let's compare them with a superhero and see how much alike they are. And you would not believe the similarities that we've come up with. And our pastor's just been blown away.
With the message.
Yes.
So.
But yes, it's I have to give him credit because I never thought in a million years I'd ever get on stage, and now I've completed that bucket list. And then I thought I've always wanted to do a musical, and then I thought I'm never going to be able to do that. I can't sing in front of people, but then I braved an audition in Evansville and I got to meet Jason for the first time doing Jekyll and Hyde, and it was a phenomenal show and so much fun. So now I can't wait to do another one day.
Excellent. So, well, I think it's great that you both have the family aspect of this thing going.
Absolutely.
When I first started, it was in school, and I went through high school, and actually was kind of pushed into that decision by my mom, who instantly regretted it from then on. And in fact, I was ostracized because I would stay out late and be doing things, on the weekends, building sets and things like that. And when I should have been home doing chores, apparently, or doing something else. But and then I was always, when you got to do something real with your life. You're playing around with these theater people, right?
Yeah.
But we made it through that. And like you, I took that hiatus after I started into work, and you got busy, and you just didn't have time for theater anymore. Yeah. And it wasn't until, actually, my sons were in school, and they needed someone to produce an 8th grade play, which was the last thing they did before they went to high school. It was kind of like a rite of passage, only name. And it was truly a great time to work with those young people, and it just got me, my love of theater just came roaring back. And so I had to come out to the Fine Arts Center and audition, and got that small part, and then I've been typecast ever since.
I don't know what you mean about that.
Well, I was the announcer.
Yes.
I think I'm going to be an announcer again in the next production.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we got to find a good role for you. It's a challenge.
Role, or so I need to break
some
out.
Some kind of a villain.
The typecasting I understand, because all of a sudden I just get casted for all the old guy parts, and I don't know when that happened.
Exactly, right?
When did that happen? Just a few years ago that wasn't happening. I was Lancelot like 4 years ago, and now I get all the old guy parts.
They're like,
wait, when did that happen?
They don't really specifically say Charles is older, right? I don't think he specifically said he was older.
That's true.
So maybe there you go.
Tony saved me.
There you go. Yes, she did.
8:38. We're just about on time. It's As You Like It. It's this weekend and this
Yes.
weekend only.
Yes.
These folks have put in a lot of time and effort on this. Costuming is going to be great, and I tell you what, you guys are really taking a hit for the Gipper because
somewhat in costume right now.
exactly, because it's more of a colonial,
Like Jane Austen,
look.
Regency kind of style.
So, and especially the guys in kind of the fluffy shirts.
I pray for the guys every day because they're
a lot of layers.
So
Again,
pray for them.
hopefully there's a nice cool breeze coming off the river. It's going to be in the 80s, not the 90s.
Yes.
And it looks like it should stay dry. That's the key.
I think tonight's going to be our only challenge. It's supposed to be pretty
You have a dress?
with the heat index up as it is, and until 9 o'clock, I think we're going to have a nice hot night rehearsal tonight.
Hopefully turn on the sprinklers or something.
I wish they would, yeah. Or somebody's going to go take a dip in the river or something.
Where's he at? He's going on now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I guess if you need to change costumes or anything like that, Pagoda allows you to use those facilities.
Yeah,
or?
they are closed right now. They are actually going to expand their hours for the show this weekend, so we'll actually have a bathroom for everyone to use during the intermission. Because, otherwise, right now we have to either take the walk down to the park where there's a bathroom down at the park, or just kind of
Jump
hold
in your
it,
car.
jump in your car, and take off somewhere. Yeah.
But this is a family show, I'm sure. I mean, young kids probably may not understand the language and that.
But they'll enjoy the scenery, the physicality, and some of the comedy. I mean, there are definitely moments where even if you didn't speak English at all, it's just funny to watch what's happening.
Yes.
So I think kids would enjoy it.
I think what would be great is bring your office mates, bring your families,
Right.
And friends to come out and enjoy this. Maybe have dinner here and then come over. What are the show times?
It's at 6:30 on Friday and Saturday, and then 4:30 on Sunday.
Sounds great.
And hey, we've had people do picnics before, so bring a picnic basket and spread out a big blanket and sit on it and just enjoy it.
It'll be a busy weekend down in Evansville.
Yes.
So, give yourself a little extra time.
To park.
Chivalry is not dead. Drop off the wife and the
Sure,
kids.
right. And then
Park the car.
Is it okay to park in the museum parking lot? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We've been told they are going to have an exhibit going on this weekend, so I would suggest we're told to pass it around to friends and family and loved ones to
Get there
want
plenty
to
of time,
get
right?
there plenty of time to park. Which there might be some parking there in the pagoda, but it is still open to the public. So.
Gotcha. All right, sounds great. Well, thank you so much
Thank you.
for sharing this, and hopefully we'll get a good crowd out there.
Absolutely.
I would
We
think-
usually
I-
do.
We normally do. I mean, in fact, that hasn't really been the issue so much.
Right.
If anything, you might want to just get to know the people better
That's
that
right.
you're going to be sitting next to. Because
It might be close to.
quarters there. But thanks so much. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of the day and break a leg.
Yes.
For
Thank
sure.
you. Absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Bill.
And that's going to have to wrap it up this morning right here at the home team of WSON, Megan Nance, and also Jason Vincent with the Evansville Shakespearean Players. And As You Like It this weekend on the Evansville Riverfront. We'll be right back. We have much, much more right after this.